Hello. Today we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into the Starstruck game in Netflix Puzzled. And what I mean is a deep dive into the strategy. So rather than trying to go quickly, I am going to do my best to kind of talk about the different ways you can think about the game so that you can improve your own game. All right. And if you want to try this yourself, it is available on mobile as well as tadum.com/puzzled. All right. Well, let's start with the easy. And I'm going to go over the game again in case you didn't see my previous video. So the way that we play this game is it is some square grid. And so there's some number of rows and columns. So in this case, in this example we have on screen, there are 5 rows and 5 columns. And we're going to be placing a star in each row and column, exactly 1 star. You can see we have 5 stars here. In addition to that, we do have these colored regions. We're going to be placing a star within each region. And finally, the stars can't touch, not even diagonally. So for example, this cell here, I would not be able to put a star there because there's already a star here, in addition to other reasons, of course. All right, so then there's always only one unique solution. So let's take a look at the easy today. So we start with a few gimmies. This region has only 1 cell in it, so it must have a star. And same with this region over here, this red one. All right, so one thing that I like to think about is within and this isn't immediately relevant, but this is something we can always be thinking about. Within a 2x2 area, like a little square, 2x2 square, you can only ever have 1 star. You don't have to have a star in every 2x2, but a 2x2 can only have 1 star. So that can really help figure out certain eliminations. But the things to look for, especially in easy, are do I have any rows, columns, or regions with only 1 cell left? So this little light blue region here has only 1 cell left, so it has to have a star. And then we can look at what that effect that had. What did we just X out? And this orange region has only 1 place for a star, so we can put that. And now if we look at X'd out something in this green, so the green region has only 1 place for a star, so we can place that. All right, so I'm immediately noticing there's probably a lot of things to see here, but this brown region now has only 2 places for a star, right here or right here. And so when you're down to 2 places for a star, it's always nice to think about, well, what effect does each of those stars have, and is there any overlap there? And what I'm seeing is that this place for a star and this place for a star tells us that this cannot be a star, because no matter where that star ends up, it'll either be in the same row or same column as the brown star. And that leaves only 1 place in yellow for a star, so we can place that. And that did give us an X here, so now we can place a star there, and we can place a star there. So that is one way to solve this easy. We're going to go a little bit deeper in the hard here. So let's see what strategies we can utilize in our hard. Let's unlocking things. Let's go on to the hard here. All right. So the hard doesn't have any of those immediate gimmies like we had in the easy, but I am seeing one thing that we can do immediately, which is this red region in the top right. No matter where we place that star, it's going to be in row 1. And so row 1 can only have the 1 star, so we can X out the rest of row 1. Now here's what I was talking about earlier. In this 2x2 area, we can only have up to 1 star, and this yellow region needs to use it. And so this final one here cannot have a star in it. Now there are other X's we can do as well because of this yellow region. So this cell here sees the entirety of the yellow region. We can't use that little 2x2 rule, but what we can do is see that it shares a column with most of yellow, and it also touches the other one in yellow. And so now we're down to this nice pattern here, where we know there's going to be 1 in one of these two. So within this 2x2 area, we can't have these be stars because we know it's up here. And so now this is a vertical. We have to place a star here or here. And so the rest of the vertical column cannot be a star. This is another 2x2 area where this region needs to use it, so we can't put it here. All right, and I think we have more like that. So this place here, it's either going to be used by this 2x2 region, or we're going to have a star up here. So no matter where we put a star in blue, it will eliminate this one, and then same with eliminating this one here. All right, this is what we've seen before. We can eliminate that. All right, so the next thing that I'm seeing is a trick that you're going to use a lot, especially in the hard, although you can use it in the easy as well, which is that this dark blue region, I guess I will call it purple, the purple region here is definitely going to put a star in either row 2 or row 3. And the yellow region is also going to put a star in row 2 or row 3. So between those two, it's kind of like an X-wing in Sudoku. Between those two, we're going to use up rows 2 and 3. purple will have one of the stars, yellow will have the other star. There's only 2 stars in the row. So the rest of row 2 and 3, as long as it's not purple or yellow, cannot have a star. All right. Now, what I'm going to be looking for here is things like that here. So I'm looking at the first 3 columns here, because what I noticed is that this blue region is using just the first 2 columns. So when I just look at that, I look at those first 2 columns and I see that that brings in also brown, green, and gray. So we want to look at brown, green, and gray and see how they might be limited. And if we extend ourselves to look at the first 3 columns, you can see that the first 3 columns fully encompass purple, green, and gray. You get used to kind of seeing that pattern. And so what that means is we know that purple, green, and gray are together going to produce 3 stars. There are only 3 stars available for 3 columns. So that means the brown region can't actually put a star in those 3 columns. So it's kind of the same thing we did with rows 2 and 3. All right. So what else can we say? I think we have the same thing with the rightmost 3 columns where brown can't use it because we need red, yellow, and orange to use it. And so none of the rest of these, I should call this, I don't know, that one's orange. I should call this something else. Burnt orange. Dark orange. Okay, anyway. So yeah, the red, the yellow, and the burnt orange is gonna use up the right 3 columns. So you can't put them in the brown or the orange region. All right. Now we want to look for probably restricted rows or columns. Okay, I am seeing that this green kind of Tetris shape here, we can't put a star here because it either shares a row with green or it touches green. All of the cells in green would eliminate from that one. Not sure if that's immediately useful, but anytime you can like pick out one cell to X, that can sometimes just lead you to a restriction later on. That's helpful. All right, we have, I'm thinking about the bottom 3 rows. Yeah, okay, so if we look, we've reduced brown to just the bottom 2 rows here. And so actually, this can never be a star, but we can do something more with that. But this can never be a star just because of the shape of brown. It's always going to touch it. But we can do something much better, which is the gray, the brown, and the burnt orange are going to use up the bottom 3 rows. So the rest of the bottom 3 rows cannot be stars unless you are gray, brown, or burnt orange. And so now there's only one place in blue, so we can place that star. All right, we have 3 places left in orange. We have 2 places left in green. Let's see if we can do anything with those. Not immediately seeing it. So when I get a little bit stuck like this, like I don't see an immediate thing to do, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to scan the rows carefully, and I'm going to see what restrictions we have there, and I'm going to scan the columns, and I'm going to scan the regions. Because sometimes I'm just missing something simple. So I'm going to take note that there's 2 places left in this row 3 here, 3 places left in row 4, 2 places left here. And sometimes you can consider whether those places have a similar elimination that you can perform. In this case, I'm not really seeing it. Okay, so it's this row that I'm missing. It's this 3rd row from the bottom. I can only put a star in this cell, so we must. And now we get this cell here in this region, and this cell in this region, this cell in this region. We get the brown, and it should just cascade from here. We get this star, and this star. All right, and that is my strategy deep dive. I'm really, really enjoying this Starstruck game in the Netflix Puzzled app. There are also other logic puzzles like Sudoku. There are word games. There are kind of visual games. And so there's really something for everyone, and it's completely free. There's no membership required or anything to play the games. So you can check that out on mobile, on the Play Store and the App Store, as well as on tadum.com/puzzled. And see if you can beat the Starstruck for today in a faster time than I did.